Alright, y'all. This is Nightmare Comics 1. And I don't know how long I'm gonna go, so I'm just gonna talk. A few hours ago, The Walking Dead season finale for season 2 ended. And I can tell you right now it's the best episode of the show. At least in my opinion. And I'm gonna give this review just in terms of just quality, and then I'll tell y'all just what I think as a fan of the comic, okay? The last time we left, our hero Rick Grimes was in the woods looking for Randall. I think that's his name, Randall, who grabbed Shane's gun and ran off with him. We all know that's not what happened. We all know Shane killed him, but Rick was in the woods. He knew something was up. And then recapping the last episode, spoilers gonna be all through this. I'm sorry if you hadn't seen this yet. You don't need to be watching a review of it. That's just my opinion. Well, I mean, yeah, you can, but like, it's fucking spoilers in this. I'm sorry. We already know Shane killed Randall. He's pretty much leading Rick out in the woods so he can kill Rick too, and then go back to camp. All this other good stuff. Rick kills Shane. Carl kills the zombie version of Shane that comes back. And I know a lot of you guys were wondering last week, like, how is Shane a zombie? How was Randall a zombie when neither one of them got bit? Well, we got our answer in this episode. But in this episode, the episode starts. Carl asks Rick, hey, when did Shane get bit? All this other stuff. Rick didn't answer him. Then they see they're surrounded by walkers. And roamers, as they're called in the book. Walkers, as they're called in the show. I like both names, to be honest. And I'm going to talk about the whole comic book and the TV show relationship between this, for real. But Carl and Rick, they're running from the zombies now. The zombies are headed to the farm. They go inside the barn. They light the barn on fire, catch a lot of the zombies. Lori's worried about Carl because Carl's supposed to be in the house and he ran off. Carl being the worst child in history, like he is in the book and in the show. That's totally accurate. They're running for their life. People getting eaten. A lot of people that were living with Herschel were getting eaten and shit. Just as a recap, the only people that make it out of that farm are we see Rick, Carl, and Herschel all leave together. Herschel was gonna stay and die at first, because he didn't want to leave his farm. But then Rick convinced him to leave. So Rick, Carl, and Herschel left, and then you had Andrea, who was it? Andrea, Carol, and whatever Herschel's other daughter's name is that I pretty much predict will die in this next season. And then you had Maggie and Glenn, and you had Carol and Daryl, I think. I can't remember everybody, but they all were running. But in conclusion of what happened in the farm was overran by zombies. Patricia died. One of the boys died, and Patricia and one of those boys died, and then everyone else pretty much made it out. Now, everyone was like kind of caught in a group, like at least with like a survival buddy. But the only one that wasn't was Andrea. Andrea accidentally got left behind, so she was wandering around, pretty much fighting for her life. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the premise of the episode. Rick, Herschel, and Carl get back to the highway, and Herschel is trying to convince Rick to just leave because as Lori's not with them. Lori's with the black guy whose name I can't remember right now, and I think that might be Herschel's daughter. Yeah, I can't remember, but what I'm saying, like, he's about to go. You know what I mean? Well, Herschel's like, you need to protect your boy. You don't know if you're gonna see your wife again. You need to protect your boy and get out of here. That's your main priority. If you read the comic, I find that very ironic. But But then as they were about, as as he was finally convincing Rick, hey, it ain't safe here. You need to get your boy and go. Rick turns to Carl. He looks at Carl. He says, "I'm sorry, it's not safe here." Almost like he's about to say, "Let's go," but then all the cars pull up at the same time, which I think is. I thought that was the only part of the episode I didn't like. I thought it was real cliche. You know what I mean? Like, come on, everything works out for everyone, and they all meet up in the same spot. Whatever. But they all come together, and then they decide to keep moving, find shelter, and then all this stuff. But then as they're going, Rick's car runs out of gas. Like they're asking who survived, who didn't, and then they bring up Andrea. That's like, well, we didn't see her die, but we didn't see her with anybody else. And then Daryl was like, I'm gonna go back for her. Rick was like, no, that's suicide, blah blah blah. We just gotta assume she's lost or whatever. And then you see them driving, and then Rick, Lori, and Carl's car runs out of gas or whatever. So they stop, and they're like, we don't have any gas. We'll go get some gas in the morning and keep moving. We'll go find gas in the morning and keep moving. Right now, we're just gonna set up shop somewhere. And everyone was arguing about it, but Rick was like, that's the logical thing to do right now. We don't need to split up the group. We just need to stay together. And then that's when Daryl brings up we found Randall, but he didn't get beat. Shane killed him, but he was a zombie. He was a walker. And then they was like, but yeah, then the walker got Shane or whatever. And then that's when Rick disclosed to everybody that we're all infected. And they were like, what you meant by that? And he said Jenner told him as they were leaving whatever that place is called that wasn't in the comic. I forget. Shit. Yeah, he whatever that place is called, he told him in the comic. Well, he told him whatever that place is not in the comic. He told him that whatever it is, we are, everyone already has it. So yeah, and then that's when he disclosed to Lori that he killed Shane, and why he killed Shane. And she got all upset when she found out that Carl was the one that killed the zombie. But you gotta be tough, you just got to be strong, you know what I mean? Like, you got to, in this world overran by zombies. Lori is getting on my nerves. Real shit. Lori is getting on my fucking nerves. Real shit. Like, she had already got on my nerves, but she's really getting on my nerves. Like, they gonna have to change her soon because she dies in the comic. I've said that a bunch. But if she dies in this show, I'm not gonna give a fuck. Real shit. Like, it's gonna be like a party. In the book, I cried. You know what I mean? Like, I actually cried. I actually shed tears, shed legit tears for Lori Grimes. If she dies in the show, I can give a fuck less, to be honest with you. But yeah, Lori, she's upset at Rick or whatever. And then we finally see Andrea in the woods, and Andrea's like, she's trying to stay alive or whatever. And then it looks like she's at the point where she's overran by zombies. There's a zombie on top of her, pretty much inside her guard, if y'all know MMA. And, pretty much trying to eat her. And then all of a sudden you hear hack, and his head goes flying off. And behind him, behind the zombie, there's a figure holding two zombies with their arms cut off, and I'm assuming their jaws gone. And then they close in on this figure. You don't see a face. All you see is like kind of a shadow, but you see a little bit of lips. And this figure's holding a katana sword. Now I know people that knew nothing about the comic. They're like, who the fuck is that? But that, my friends, is Michonne. And yeah, that was like, I was wondering how they were going to introduce her. I did not expect her at all this season. I knew she was coming, but not at all this. I thought that was going to be a season 3 thing, but that was fucking incredible. Like, I like, as a fan of the books, this is just me talking strictly as a fan of the books right now. I jumped out of my seat and I was yelling, "Oh my God, it's Michonne!" My girlfriend Farrah, love you to death, babe. I know you're probably listening to this, but when I was on there, when I saw that, she was pretty much, I was jumping up and down and shit, and I know she was thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you, But that was crazy. That was man, that was nuts. But then we go back to the camp, and everyone was just talking and shit, and then Rick discloses that like they was like, we can't sit out here all night, blah blah blah. And then Rick was like, that's what we gonna do. You know what I mean? We gonna stay together. And You know, that's why I killed Shane. I killed Shane for you people. Y'all saw how he was, blah blah blah. And then, you know, it's pretty much him coming clean to everybody. And then pretty much Rick was what happened? What did Rick say? Um, what happened? Yeah, Rick was like, you know, if y'all gonna stay, then stay. You know what I mean? But if you like, he pretty much said, if y'all feel like y'all better off without me, y'all can leave. You know what I mean? But if you gonna stay, then you stay. But this ain't a democracy no more. You either do what I say or leave the fucking group. You know what I mean? Pretty much. And if you read the comic, this is pretty much Rick made a lot of bad decisions when he was in this mode. You know what I mean? When they finally went to the place that they teased at the end of this episode, which when they panned the camera out, you saw in the far horizon the prison. You know what I mean? And the prison is the most important part of the Walking Dead, I guess you could say, mythos now. You know what I mean? It is the most important chapter of The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? That's why they didn't say anything. There was no craziness. There was no them actually getting there. It was just in the backdrop. You know, it pretty much, like, for all the fans of the book, this entire episode was a love letter to us. Like, I'll explain why I think that is, though. But they just showed it in the backdrop. You know what I mean? And that was just enough. And then the episode ends, and then they tell you new episodes in the fall. I thought that was incredible. I thought that entire episode was incredible, minus the one complaint that I had. But I'm also extremely biased. I've been a fan of The Walking Dead pretty much since issue 1. I dropped off for like a year just because I was, and then I caught up in like a day. You know what I mean? I dropped off in a year for like financial purposes, but then I found out the show was coming out, so I jumped right back in so I can catch up. And yo, like this episode was, I honestly can't imagine how it could have been much better. To be honest with you, it was a love letter to the people that were naysayers about the show, because a lot of people, as I said in my other video, they were like, it's too different. You know, what are they doing? You know, why is Shane still alive? You know, why did they kill Dale? I'm spoiling shit all over. Why did they kill Dale? Why is Sophia dead but her mom's still alive? Blah blah blah, shit like that. You know what I mean? Who is this black guy, T-Dog? And he is unnecessary. I totally agree with that. And somehow he ended up surviving the episode tonight. I really believe that they gonna keep this dude alive as like some random character, and unless him and Michonne date, that'd be cool. Him and Michonne, but I don't think so. I honestly, I can see her fucking Daryl. That's just being honest. I can see her having like a love triangle thing going on, kind of like they did with Carol in the book, with her, Carol, and Daryl. I can really see that shit happening, and that would be fucking awesome, by the way. But yeah, like, I just thought it was just an awesome episode. It was a love letter to us, like I said. It was you know, you got the backdrop of the prison, like I said, it is the most important part of The Walking Dead, or The Walking Dead, you know, history and all that stuff. You got the Michonne debut, which is like top 10, one of the coolest shit. Like, I seriously, I screamed so loud, like so loud, and I was jumping up and down. I was so, oh, that just like whole moment, like I didn't expect it to go down like that. Cause the one beauty of this show is that it's so different from the comic, because when that zombie was on top of Andrea, I thought Andrea was going to die, because this show has been so different from the books. Like, it's almost been kind of like an advantage, you know what I mean? So like us that know, you know, the actual story or whatever, we don't have that leg up over people that, you know, never read the book, you know what I mean? Now we do still kind of have that leg up, because all the important things, all the important landmarks, all the really important events that have happened have still happened. You know what I mean? Like them meeting Herschel and Maggie and Glenn falling in love, that happened. You know what I mean? Shane sleeping with Lori, that happened, even though it was drawn out longer than it was in the book. You know what I mean? All the really important shit has happened though. You know what I mean? So I'm not that upset about this. So yeah, this was awesome though. Wholeheartedly recommend this. I'm kind of curious to know what people that didn't read the book actually thought of this episode and just watched the show, because I thought it was incredible. And I know this ain't the best review at all, I'm just so excited for season 3. It just left things on such a high note. It left you with so many questions, but not an annoying amount of questions. And just they set up so many things. This episode was so fucking awesome. Watch this as soon as fucking possible. The Walking Dead season 2, dynamite. Minus a couple episodes, absolutely dynamite. But the last episode, the last 5 minutes of that fucking episode, fucking awesome. I know I'm cussing a lot. Check this shit out as soon as you get a chance. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.